Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. I think trying to time markets can be very, very dangerous. There are people that are going to try to do just that. XRP holders, not just XRP holders. People do this in with other asset types as well, stock market, precious metals, whatever. But in crypto, you see it all the damn time. You have such quick market cycles; it happens very frequently, and I've seen so many people get wrecked. And it's gonna happen again. There are also some people though that just they have this idea, and hey, do whatever you want to do. But some people say that they're just never gonna sell anything, like they're thinking everything's gonna go up like in a straight line forever. Like anytime I've mentioned that I will be selling, it's my intention to sell XRP this market cycle. Hopefully, the majority of it. Every now and then I get people that are like, "Do you understand the value of what you hold with XRP?" And I'm like, "Yes." Do you understand market cycles? That's the way I look at it. So anyway, I want to talk about that a little bit because I got comments from probably, arguably, perhaps the most famous chart analyst in all of crypto making some comments having to do with what he called a, quote, come to Jesus moment, end quote. So that also, I want to share with you, I love covering this stuff. There's a Ripple employee who is taking XRP haters and Ripple haters to task. And so, as far as I'm concerned, you can call him the bus driver because he's taking them bitch asses to school. And you can call me a shovel because I dig it. Now, I do want to be clear at the outset, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys talking about Ripple and XRP and cryptocurrencies. Just for fun. That's all that's going on here. But just because I'm a dude that has a YouTube channel does not make me an expert. Okay, my name is Moon Lambeau. Even if I were offering advice, it would be a bad idea to take it. So I'm just not even going to offer it. Right? Take a look at this headline from You Today. Legendary trader who called 2018 top predicts come to Jesus correction. And so who is being referenced here? None other than Peter Brandt. Now I enjoy following what he has to say. First of all, he's good in general at what he does. He is incendiary frequently. He also does not like Ripple and does not like XRP. He's gone so far as to call just everything relating to both an outright scam. He's actually said that, which is interesting to me because Ripple's the most transparent company in all blockchain. It's something. And so, by the way, he also insists that XRP, by the nature of it existing, he insists that it is a security. So it's one of those, so disagreement there, but I'm not the type that dislikes or hates people because they believe something different than me. Like that's not really gonna just in and of itself factor into whether or not I like or respect somebody. As long as the people are being intellectually honest, and I hope that he is mostly, then I don't really have a problem. The only time where I'll offer a critique on this, well, maybe I shouldn't say the only time. One of the times I'll offer a critique on this, though, is when he offers chart analysis with XRP, because he's like, no chart analyst is perfect, but he's got a good track record. There's a reason about, I don't know, I think about 500,000 people follow him on Twitter. Like, that's something, right? That doesn't just happen. And so it speaks to the degree to which people value what he's putting out there, I think. But strangely, right? When he talks about XRP expectations in terms of price action, he's just like, without fail, incorrect. How can he be so right so frequently about everything else that he charts, but not XRP? Might bias be bleeding into your chart analysis, sir? So I think a little bit here, but he is right, and so credit to him where it's due. He did call the top of the Bitcoin market last market cycle when Bitcoin hit almost $20,000. So then late December 2017, then a year later, mid-December 2018, he called the bottom of the Bitcoin market. And so he's certainly well known for that. So check out this article. In his latest tweet, veteran commodity trader Peter Brandt warns that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will have a come-to-Jesus correction one day. The legendary chartist adds that fortunes and life savings will be lost, singling out people who don't understand crypto and highly leveraged market participants as the biggest future losers. Brandt's growing frustration with laser eyes. Yeah, and he's talked about that too. Actually, I don't even really need to read this further. Just the laser eyes thing, I'm sure some of you listening have engaged with that. Hey, it's from my perspective, it's all in good fun, but I think that it also is one thing you can look at to point to the fact that this market has heated up tremendously, and when you get to, because like this is one of the things you can look at that leads towards like this euphoric feeling throughout the market as prices just go up and up and up. And so again, it's just one thing to consider. And so some people hate it. I get that people are just having fun with it, and so I didn't jump in it, but yeah, I mean, I don't have any beef with it. Peter Brandt doesn't like it, and I you know, it's fine. I know there are a lot of people out there that take issue with it. I don't really care. Just people have fun, do what you want to do. I still do think it's an indicator that, you know, we're that much closer to the top here. And so that's why, like, in terms of market cycles, timing XRP, my gosh, I've been saying for a long time, you're never going to time markets sufficiently. If you do, like, it is a fluke and you're very fortunate. Like, you're playing with fire, though. Like, I recognize that, and this, I'm going to say this is true of me and probably true of every other human on the planet, right? You're not going to be able to perfectly buy the bottom of a market, and you're also not going to be able to perfectly sell the top. And so for me, now that we're into a bull phase here, once we hit a certain level, an XRP price, I'll start selling a little bit along the way as we get higher and higher. I can't imagine I'd really sell any unless we're at least all-time high territory, and even then, if I sell at that level, it wouldn't be that much. So we'll see. We'll see how I feel in the moment. Okay, I'll let my feelings take control. Just that one little thing right there. But if I do, again, it wouldn't be much. But the rest of it, I'm just going to, and it's not going to be based on price targets or timeline, mind you. I'm going to sell along the way based of what the chart structure looks like. And mind you, I'm not a chart guy, so I'm not pretending to be some sort of professional. But this is what I'm going to attempt to do, and we'll see how sloppy it ends up getting. But I'm going to try to just take cues, you know, get opinions from other people too, fine. But I'm gonna look at structurally where it appears to me we are in the cycle, compare it to previous cycles, and make decisions along the way. And I'm not ever going to perfectly sell the top, but you know, I do believe there's going to be an 80 to 90% crash after that at some point. Whatever it ends up being, it's going to be gigantic, just like has happened in the past multiple times with Bitcoin and XRP. And then we're going to start over, and I'll start dollar cost averaging again, and I'll do this whole thing again. And I'll share everything along the way as I continue to run this YouTube channel. Like, I'm not going to go away after this bull market's over. I'm going to be here because I'm going to have fun doing this all again. But to the people that say they're just going to hold forever, well, if that's what you want to do, do it. I'm not going to tell you to buy or sell or hold at all. But to the people that think that anybody that wants to sell along the way and adjust their risk exposure to any sort of assets, that doesn't really seem to make sense to me. Like, of course people should adjust their risk exposure if that's what they think that they should do. And even if XRP ends up going to like, you know, hundreds of dollars in the future and I sell way sooner, what if I sell at 10 or 20 or 25 or 30, whatever? Okay, fine, but how many market cycles is it going to take to get there? And even if it magically happened this market cycle, if you're talking hundreds of dollars, I don't believe it will happen this market cycle. But even if it did, well, so what? You don't know for sure. And how are you going to second guess somebody who in the moment doesn't know that and is like, hey, this is life-changing wealth. It could all go away forever. Or I could just recognize some of it or all of it right now. Like, I have no beef with people doing that whatsoever. Just do whatever you think is right for you, right? And it is going to be sloppy, and I just don't think it's useful to beat yourself up either for not being able to buy the bottom and not selling the top. And so even if you logically agree with me and you know that's true, it can still be hard to not feel that. I get that, because if you sell and then it goes up like twice as high or who knows how much, you're not going to feel hot, but you just got to realize, you got to say to yourself, I think if you're going to do that, emotionally, I'm not going to let what happens after this bother me, because in a vacuum, if I could never have an update for, you know, my XRP, whatever, after I sell it ever again, am I happy with what I'm doing right here now in this moment? And if the answer is yes, then I just try to control the emotions, reminding yourself of something like that. Like, I think that type of talk is useful, whether you're talking about dollar cost averaging in, or whether you're talking about selling. That type of mentality, I think, is useful here. Now, let's take a look at this. This was a tweet from somebody on Twitter who clearly is not a fan of XRP, but a Ripple employee jumped into this conversation, so I wanted to highlight this for fun. This individual is named Ponzi Bro. That's a funny name. Who simply wrote, XRP is centralized. XLM is decentralized. Who will win? XLM, of course, is Stellar Lumens. That's the little... what do we call these in crypto? We call them tickers, like in the stock market. Tickers. I'll tell you what grinds my gears is when I hear people that are new to crypto, they say that they're buying shares of a cryptocurrency. I'm like, it's good. I bet you're buying a whole bunch of shares. It's funny. Anyway, Matt Hamilton, a Ripple employee, saw that and wrote the following. What makes you think XRP is centralized? They both have near identical architectures. Yeah, and so to be clear, XRP was created first, and the guy that came up with the idea for this was Jed McCaleb. He's one of the co-founders of Ripple. Had a falling out with him about a year or so later after the company was started, and then went out to start his own new company, another new company. And ended up being, I believe it's actually structured as a nonprofit, I'm pretty darn sure, Stellar Development Foundation, that sounds correct. And so anyway, they created a cryptocurrency, Stellar Lumens, XLM. And it was actually a clone of the XRP code that they tweaked, and there are various little things about it that are different, but it's effectively the same architecture, as Matt Hamilton's rightly citing there. Somebody named Andrew jumped in there and responded to Matt Hamilton and wrote the following. And you just, as I read through these things, sometimes I sit there and wonder, it's like, do you even realize that you're talking with a software engineer who works at Ripple and actually understands the code? Because some of the people that end up like taking Matt on, like on the facts, I'm like, you're gonna have a bad time. But anyway, so Andrew wrote to him and said, they control the escrow and claim it was launched for anybody to get a fair game, and then control the validators, and the CTO can't get the wallet down from 20 to 10 without the corporate overlord's approval. Laughy emoji. Designed for enterprise use, securities token via options contracts. So what he's talking right there is David Schwartz, who is a co-creator of the XRP ledger and XRP itself, is pushing to have the XRP reserve amount reduced from 20 to 10, but he doesn't have any special powers, and he can share his opinion, and he's got pull in the world of crypto in general, but he does not control, he has no special permissions over the XRP ledger, so he can share his opinion, and if people find that persuasive, they can get in line with him, or they could not if they don't find it persuasive. That's how decentralized systems work right here. Right? But then Matt Hamilton jumped back in, Ripple employee Matt, and he said, they, question mark, Ripple, question mark, how is this any different from the Stellar Development Foundation? The Stellar Development Foundation burnt half of their holdings. And your argument for it not being decentralized is that the network has to vote on a change, and a single person can't do it unilaterally. Maybe think that through. And so I was thinking the same thing when I read through it. I was like, okay. This is fun, though. I love thinking through these little, fun little back and forth, the critical thinking exercises, because I'll tell you what, when I jumped into crypto initially back in late 2017, I learned, frankly, most of what I learned by reading back and forth from people that were sharing their positions. And if you had a persuasive argument, then I was likely to find it compelling and believe that. And if somebody didn't have a strong argument, then I was less likely to believe their position. And so I read all sorts of back and forth from all sorts of different people, which helped inform my position on a number of things having to do with Ripple and XRP and Bitcoin and crypto in general. And it's fun too, going through this and just logically thinking through this and seeing some of the silly opinions that some of these people have. So nothing against Andrew here, but some of what he's saying here, it's just factually inaccurate and kind of silly here. And so then he just shared, without any words, he shared this clip to, what was it, CNBC? So Jed McCaleb was interviewed on CNBC, and he just shared the link to that. I had actually seen that video. I didn't rewatch it before recording this video, but I actually had seen that one. And so Matt Hamilton wrote, you really expect me to watch a video in which they can't even get the name of the person they are interviewing right? John McCaleb, which, by the way, is hilarious because I didn't catch that. His name's Jed, J-E-D, and they called him John McCaleb. Well done, CNBC. Well done. Man, they butchered, I think it was them too, it could have been somebody else, but somebody butchered Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse's name. Was it Garlington or something? I think it was somebody, I'm pretty sure it was Garlington. I'd have to, and it may not have been CNBC, but he was interviewed somewhere and somebody called him Garlington. Anyway, so Andrew then jumped in and said, although it was a typo, Jed talked about how the nodes control everything, and that is what makes them centralized and extremely difficult for crypto approval, and we see that with the SEC lawsuit over their Ripple plus Brad and Chris options contract sales. To which Matt responded, given he was the original founder, it seems strange he would lie about that. And that was weird too. I was like, is there something about this that I do not know? No, which is why Matt Hamilton, the bus driver here, he says, no, that is a straight up lie. And so Andrew responded and wrote, it's the argument that securities law would apply with their tokenomics of centralized governance with their node validators, which was no improvement over Swift aside from faster technology of the ACH debit crap. XRP does come with heavy risk, I hold 15,000 XRP. That's it. Prefer XLM. And so Matt Hamilton, he said exactly pretty well the same thing I would have said. Why pretend that there is centralized governance when you know it is decentralized, though? Yeah, so think about this. It's practically the same damn code. I mean, it's a literal copy that was tweaked. And you're going to pretend like one is centralized and the other isn't? Because reasons? And look, I understand that, you know, even a systems that's decentralized, it can go from being centralized to decentralized and vice versa. I get that. But holy hell, it's provably true that Ripple doesn't have any special permissions, right? Okay, and so ultimately Andrew wrapped up by stating, I agree that the XRP ledger is decentralized, but it's not clear about XRP yet, in my humble opinion. This is the last hurdle before Ripple can take off. And so that's where it ends, unfortunately, at least to this point. But XRP, it's just a cryptocurrency. So what do you mean the currency which is attached to the blockchain itself is not? Because, I mean, yes, there's a concentration of XRP holdings, but that has nothing to do with governance anyway. You don't get special permissions because you hold a bunch of a cryptocurrency, a bunch of XRP. You know, it's not like there's no sort of staking mechanism here, right? It's interesting seeing the things that people believe, but I love having diversity of thought because, again, like I stated just a moment ago, I use the back and forth and the various opinions to help me figure out what I think makes sense in crypto and in life in general. It's very useful. And so I appreciate, as long as people are civilized back and forth, I love hearing different opinions. And so I clearly believe very strongly, for a ton of reasons, that Andrew is wrong. And it's always entertaining to see Matt Hamilton take these people to task when they make these completely factually incorrect statements. And so there we are. But I'll wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.